Okay, today we're going to continue the halachas of Kriyash Shalamitom. So originally I should have bring this in the first shiur really, but I didn't. But I'm going to bring it now. The Gemara in Baruch Samach on the base. The Gemara says, "Anichnas lishon al mitosei." Somebody goes to sleep. Oimer mishmai so ad v'hoyo im shomoya. So already said there's three shittas over here. Some learning the first parsha, that's with pshat. Then some learning it's mean v'hoyo im shomoya b'chalal. It's not till ad v'lo ad b'chal meaning it's a shema the shit of Rabbeinu Chananel and v'hoyo im shomoya. Then they brought the shit of Rabbeinu Yoina. He said three parshas because of shmira, because you need shmira and ramach evorim. Okay. Then it's like this. That's the whole tefillah was said Baruch HaMapil. Then it brought, I'm bringing it for the main reason for this. Then one of the tefillahs we have in Baruch HaMapil with him is mitosi shleimo lefanecha. We're saying my bed should be complete. What's the pshat? My bed should be complete. Rashi says shleimo shelo yapsul v'rosho bezari. So we were looking for tefillah, so many some tzaddikim. Tefillah in the Gemara, Pasha was saying every night, here, the tefillah every night when we go to sleep, one of the tefillahs we have, nobody should come out of me, no Rosha, no Posul, so that's important tefillah, we have to in mind. Same thing like Yaakov in this, Toso Isa Shlemo, Kol Bono Tzaddikim. So I'm saying it's a very important pirush to remember when you say Krishma Shalamita. Okay. This is more Lagabe the pirush. Now, there is a big problem with Bechlal, the whole thing, the Gemara mentioned, all the psuki, the Rachamei, we say at night, a lot of them to push away all the mazikim of the night. Here's what the Gemara in Shavuos Daf Tezon with says. Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Omar Lu Lahana Kroa. The Gemara talks about the L'moshel Shir Shel Pegoim or Shir Shel Negoim. That we call it two names, Pegoim and Negoim, which is the same capital. This capital Yoshev B'Seiser Elyon. It's capital Tzadik Aleph. It's called Shir Shel Pegoim because there's over there how Hashem should push away all the mazikim from me. And Lo Aleinu, when we go by the Levaya, we say this by when we escort the coffin, we say this because we don't want the mazikim to come to the body of the mace. We say Yoshev B'Seiser Elyon. So we say this at night by Krishma Shalamita. The Gemara says, Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Omar Lu Lahana Kroa v'Gona. Then he used to go to sleep. The Gemara says, Hechi Ovid Hochi. The Gemara specifically asked Rabbi Shua ben Levi, why? But Omar Rabbi Shua ben Levi, he himself said, Osur lisrapos b'divrei Torah. Rabbi Shua ben Levi says, we're not allowed to use the divrei Torah for healing. And he was saying over all the psukim for protection. For Shmira, the Gemara says, Lahogen Shana. So one answer of the Gemara, you're allowed to do it not for it's prevention. For prevention, you're allowed to do it. For healing, not. For healing, also this trapas we do. Even if you got sick already, then you start learning to get well. It's not allowed to, because the Torah is not made for it. And who really elaborate in it a lot is the Rambam. I'm going to read it in a minute. That you're not allowed to do. But as a prevention, at night I should have any zekim, baruchnis, bagashmiyus. I should wake up in the morning. As a prevention, that you're allowed to do. So that's one exception. Then there is another exception. Then the Tosfos bring. Tosfos says. And that's many poskim follow this Tosfos. Tosfos brings the Gemara and Shabbos says, La Shiso Bas Yoima, or La Shita Tzmirta, really, the Bach correct, that's the right Girta Bemis, if you look in the Gemara. Meaning, Rabbi Yochanan over there in the Masechet Shabbos, Daf Samech Zayin, brings a segula, if somebody has hay fever, it could be dangerous, if it goes too much, the temperature, God forbid, it goes to after a certain amount, it could kill somebody. So the Gemara says over there, a segula, Leima Vayar Malach Hashem Elov, when Moshe Rabbeinu went to the Sneh, it said that the Psukim, then there's one of the less possible. The Gemara brings over there, Vayar Kisor Liros. It says over there he should go, there's a segula to go to the procedure 3 times over there, and the last time is going to say Vayar Kisor Liros. Hashem saw that Moshe Rabbeinu coming to see the bush burning. So Rashi brings over there, when you say Kisor Liros, same thing. Sor Miloshan, he went to see it. So Rashi says there, Kisor Shiyosur HaChoili. Sor meaning also he was removed from one place to another. Same thing, the Choili should be removed from him. So the Choira, over there, we're not talking about prevention. By the Maisa, with the Rabbi Yochanan talking about Isha Tzamirto, Ashisa Tzamirto, if it's a hay fever, it's not prevention. He has choil already. And we're saying over here, Lahogen Shana, prevention you're allowed, but if you're sick, you're not allowed to use Divrei Torah. So how come Rabbi Yochanan said over there, say this psukim, Divrei Torah, you're saying it in order to get rid of your hay fever? So the Tosfos answer, Sakanta Shana. So you have the second exception. One exception, prevention you're allowed. Second one, if you're choile, but choile musukin, God forbid, it could bring to a very dangerous pekuach nefesh, then you're allowed to do anything miknas sakona. But if it's not sakona, then you're not allowed to do. Okay, so then there is another exception to this rule that the Drisha brings this. I'm sorry, the Prisha. The Semechabed, the Prisha. Like this. Before I said, I just want to say, before I said the exception of the Prisha, the Bes Yosef in Hilchas Avodah Zorah, there Kuf Ayin says, the Bes Yosef brings the Teshuvas Rashba, and he says same thing the Gemara in Shabbos talks about, if somebody allowed to go with the Kamiyah. They used to make a little parchment covered, and you go out on Shabbos with this, it says over there, Psukim or Shemos for healing. So the Gemara says, if somebody already is expert, he did it a few times and it works, he did it 3 times, it works, we know he knows what he's doing, you're allowed to walk with this on Shabbos. It's refuah b'divrei Torah. It says over the Shemus Psukim. How could you do it? So the Rajba says, I'm not reading those. I'm just going to read what Negeh Torah is a punchline. V'davka lehogen shelo yechle. The Kamiyah with the Gemara Shabbos says you're allowed to walk out only. It's a prevention that we just said now. The Gemara says lehogen shana. The Gemara in Shavuos. If you're already sick, you cannot use any Kamiyah, any divrei Torah to heal, because that would be also okay. So far again we're holding by 2 exceptions. You're allowed to do it for prevention, and you're allowed to do it when it's sakona. So according to this, we have a big kashya. Where a lot of times people learn together, say the refuah shalema of such and such a person who said tehillim for refuah shalema. You could argue, you could say tehillim it's prayer, but if it's divrei Torah, especially says David the Melech asked from Hashem when we say tehillim, it should be like learning halas with taharas, the major parts of Torah. So it's like Torah. So how could we do that? How could we go say tehillim for somebody sick? At least rapas with divrei Torah. And I'll tell you, the lotion of the Rambam, very, very stark lotion. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Before I tell you the answer, first of all, Rambam, there's a sickness or a wound, you're saying posuk. By the way, we do that. We put on the tinok, on the newborn baby, on yoledes, we put the shiramalos, we put all kind of psukim over there. You shouldn't get scared. Like I said, they put that little all kind of gulas, the shiramalas, that the baby should sleep. We're not allowed to be chaborim and menachshim among the magic makers. Says that Imam called them koifrim b'Torah, people that do that. You can convert the Torah as some kind of refuah for your body. The refuah sanefesh. The Torah is refuah sanefesh, not refuah saguf. You need medication, you go to a doctor. You need refuah sanefesh, you go to spiritual mentor. You learn Torah. But this is refuah sanefesh. Why are you using it? Okay. Now, then he concludes also v'inish sakonas akol mutar, sakona only. So lichoira, again, we're going back. All this shiramalas we use for the babies and all other tehillim for others. So it could be like this: either it shouldn't get worse, we're saying it, prevention, or if it's a sakona, we're allowed to say it. But stam choylib lichoira, you're not allowed to say it. Comes the Prisha, he says a dover chidush over here. He wants to put this on the Rambam, but I look at the lashon of the Rambam. It's not mashma, but that's what he says. I'm going to tell you what. Vayoser mirali. He says all the pirushim others bringing. The Bes Yosef, he says like this. What looks to me is this shita, the answer of the Prisha helps in many other places to understand some halachas. Especially the shita of the Rambam, that we're not allowed to do, for example, why we're not allowed to do things like the magic, even though it's not black magic, it's something like tricks to make you believe you see something and it's something else. We're not allowed to do it. Even Achizas Einam, the Gemara talks about in Sanhedrin. Even it looks to you, it appears to you, he's just making tricks on you. He's not allowed to. Why? Because we're not allowed to come to the world of believing in some superstitious, in something that has no logic, doesn't make any sense. Hashem wants us to be chacham v'novan, smart people, not stupid. Don't do stupid things. Don't believe in some superstitious. If I do this, happen this. If I do this, happen this. Something over. If I believe I'm going to say this, they're going to bring a refuah for physical problems. Says you believe in superstitious. That's not what the Torah makes for. He says. But if you say like Kriyash Mashalayla, you do mitzvah of Hashem. You're saying psukim before you go to sleep. You say mizmorim to tell you Hashem is there for you to help you. The kavanah not some kind of superstition. I don't know how it works. No, you have kavanah. Hashem going to save you how? What's the logic? It's not some kind of superstitious. This pasuk is going to just without understanding. No, because I'm b'teach b'Hashem, I trust in Him. The Mele is going to help me. Mutar or mitzvah lachas ken. Then you're allowed to do it, and it's mitzvah to do that. The Cheni says mashma lashon Rambam. I tell you, like I said, from this particular inyan, it's not mashma from Rambam like this. I looked in. I don't know how did he get it. And he says with the lashon kamedume akrishma delayla. Shkach kosav kamedume. It says looks to me like I said. I look inside the lashon, doesn't look fine. But akoponim, the Prisha is a big man, and he's telling us if the prayer says comes to the third exception. One is I've said prevention. You're allowed to do sakona. You're allowed to do the third one. If you say the psukim, not at the posuk at the heels, the posuk me'oyer in you bitochen that Hashem is there. It talks about Hashem is there to help you, and you b'teach b'Hashem. The b'schus bitochen that he says you're allowed to do.